For all the talk about protecting children, when a law actually tries to, look who shows up to tear it down. Welcome back to Theocracy Watch, fellow critical thinkers, where we monitor the creeping merger of church and state and the culture warriors trying to write cruelty into law. For once, we're starting off with some good news. Colorado is advancing a bill, HB 251312, that gives judges in custody disputes the ability to consider whether a parent is consistently misgendering or deadnaming their child, not to punish parents, but to protect the children. It's not a criminal law that reaches into your home or overrides parental rights. It simply gives judges a tool to evaluate harm when custody is already in question. And the fact that a law like this even needs to exist should tell us something. That there are children suffering in silence, not because they're disobedient or bad or doing drugs or anything like that, but because they're different. And that difference is being used against them by the very people meant to keep them safe. And as expected, right-wing outlets are calling it state kidnapping and pronoun policing. But this bill only applies in family court. And even then, it's only part of broader custody evaluation. It gives judges discretion, not mandates. Context matters, people. If anything, this bill trusts judges to weigh what too many politicians won't acknowledge, that harm isn't always visible and love is not supposed to hurt. If protecting children offends you, maybe parenting isn't your strong suit. So until next time, folks, keep your eyes on your kids and love them because they deserve it, regardless. This is Theocracy Watch.
Thank you for that. Well, first, before we go too far, because you know how my memory slides, I want to say thank you, Katie Dodson, for the $5 super chat. Katie says, why do women close their eyes while making love? They can't stand to watch a man have a good time. That's the, I gotta say, that's the better of two reasons. The other reason is because they're thinking of someone else. I'd rather have them, thank you for the Katie Dodson. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that.
Thank you for the visual.
And yes. Now, to our Theocracy Watch, what I want to say is, wow, Colorado. Who'd have thunk it?
I would not have
yeah. It just kind of blows my mind that they would do that. That's at some level they would actually recognize these children and the circumstances that they're in. I mean, now we knew there were going to be pearl clutchers out there against it, religious people, all this business, which again, the religious right for some reason has problems with other people's genitals. I don't know what it is. It's something they really do. I mean, maybe their own genitals are insufficient. I don't know, but they're really after genitals. It could be the deal.
Sounds like a love story. Insufficient genitals now premiering on Lifetime.
Yes. When the blisters go away, romance is in the air.
Oh man.
Anyway, so yeah, it's just it is a shame that they should have to do that. But it's also cool that they did it.
Right.
We need more of that. I just don't see more of that coming.
Sadly, that we need bills like this, that parents are intentionally trying to just make kids feel bad about themselves.
Yeah,
right.
For being, who they are.
Well, yeah. What is the self-unalivement rate for those children? Now, here's the thing. You got to know that is a number. That's a non-zero number. Okay. It's a non-zero number. There are children out there who leave us for that reason. The shame and the really ugly part of that is there are a group of people out here in this world who welcome that loss.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, man, they unalive themselves. That's good. Get them out of our gene pool. And we know who those people are. Thank you, Raven Lunatic, for the $5 super chat. Says, I was blessed with a 9-inch penis. That priest is in jail now.
Yikes. Are you walking okay, buddy?
He sounds disappointed. Like shucks.
Yep.
Where's Father Stevie now when I need him? When my prostate needs him.
He left a gaping hole in my heart.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jesse Bear. Why do you need to know what's in people's pants? Mind your own business. Thank you for the $2 super chat.
And creepy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them. There's this notion that they want to protect people, whether it be children or any of that business. Why? Because Weebro became a bronze level channel supporter. Thank you.
Yay.
Bronze level is only like $3 and channel support is only $1, folks. So I'm cheap. Become this channel supporter. It's wonderful. Thank you very much for that. But this, they're so, I don't think it's really about wanting to protect people. It's about wanting to harm and persecute someone. And by seeing the opportunity to use it as an excuse, by protecting, say, women or children in bathrooms, they use that as an excuse, that innocent reason, that real legitimate, naturally we want to protect women and children if they're in danger, but they use that to drive this hatred for these people who don't actually deserve it. Larry Scar is here. Larry Scar showed up. Finally. Good morning, Larry. Thank you for joining us. Adrian Belgrave. Oh, you guys got Satan's voice is a real reason for all. Really? Yikes. I think that's a good morning, worshiper of life. Thank you and welcome. We missed your
life.
Yeah. Your separation with reality was missed.
Is life your God then, if you worship life?
I don't know. That this is the same guy who hasn't actually read the Bible, where God is like all murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill.
No, it's not.
But Jesus, that's the Old Testament.
Right.
Why do you bring up old shit?
Why do you bring the past?
Let's see. Remy says Peter Gazers and pocket watchers is what I say. There you go. Talking about the right who, can't mind their own business when it comes to genitals. Yep. But see, again, part of it is there are those out there. What leads me back to that, there's a group that are out there, I want to say, who legitimately are afraid that their children will be harmed by these things, probably because of rhetoric. I would almost argue that they want to believe that to begin with, and then they've actually got an authority figure like President Trump telling them it's true.
They've already got bias. So anytime something just confirms it, they're like, oh, see?
Yes.